Mr. Chairman, I yield to the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Graves, for 2 minutes.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the gentleman from Tennessee for yielding. This legislation funds the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It funds efforts like resiliency in my home state of Louisiana. It funds hurricane protection. It funds flood control. It funds coastal restoration projects. One project in particular I want to thank and the chairman and highlight included in this legislation is the Morganza to the Gulf project. This hurricane protection project in Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes is for a community that has imposed a property tax on themselves. It has imposed a sales tax on themselves to help fund this project. They pulled together over $1 billion in funds, and this bill finally starts bringing more dollars to the table, partnering with the locals to ensure that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers can fund this community, can fund this important project. Because here's the reality, Mr. Chairman. We can either spend millions now building this project, or we can spend billions later picking up the pieces in the aftermath of a disaster, in the aftermath of a hurricane. This bill also importantly funds projects like the Upper Barataria Project, St. Charles and Lafourche parishes, on up to Ascension. It funds the Home and Navigation Channel and other critical projects for our community. But it also funds the nuclear triad, as President Reagan said, peace through strength, ensuring that we have the strength here in America. This legislation ensures that the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, our oil reserve, now at some of the lowest levels in history, are actually returned to appropriate levels. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, in regard to the previous speaker's comments, I want to remind the American public, our nation, under the last 17 years, has reduced emissions more than the next 6 or 7 emissions-reducing countries combined. We have led the world in reducing emissions. And you know what? This wasn't done because of government. It was done because of entrepreneurs, because of innovators. That's how we have led the world. And during this time, as we've reduced emissions, for every 1 ton we've reduced, China's increased by 5 tons. I want to thank the staff of the subcommittee, including Angelina, Giancarlo, and the rest of the team for their help in this legislation. I thank Chairman Fleischman. Yield back.
The gentleman yields.